Learfield. This is the Buckeye Roundtable Show presented by Burger King and brought to you statewide by the American Dairy Association Mideast and Cova Insurance, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers on the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now here's your host, Tim Hall.
All right, welcome to another edition of our winter-spring season of Buckeye Roundtable. We got a lot of stuff going on in Buckeye Nation. We got a lot happening with this football team. We've got spring football coming our way. We heard today that April 12th is when the spring showcase is going to be. So they're kind of switching it up from the name of a classic scarlet and gray game. But I would imagine same type of thing. You're going to get a chance to get out there and see those guys. So we also have the staff. We also have the football staff that's coming together. We've got Keenan Bailey getting elevated to co-offensive coordinator. He's been a fast riser in the coaching ranks. He's not quite 30 yet, but he's going to assist Brian Hartline as the co-offensive coordinator of this football team. Some more changes to the staff that we're going to talk about later on in the show as well. We've got our men's basketball team that is trying now to stay in the fight. They had a really good opportunity slip away yesterday. We're going to hear some thoughts from Jake Diebler as he just had his most recent radio show earlier today in the afternoon, but this was from right after the game, their 79-71 loss in Lincoln to Nebraska, and how they blew an 8-point lead early in the second half.
I think there was a stretch there where, we missed some jumpers, and they got some second chance points, after we had got some stops, and then that kind of started a little bit of separation. Thought our guys fought really, really hard. A few too many perimeter shots. Would have liked to just us be a little more forceful in the paint and give ourselves a chance to get to the free throw line a little bit more. But they hit some timely ones. I think you got to give them credit. And they made us pay when they got second chance shots.
Yeah, I've talked about this a couple of times with hoops right now, and they're at this point now where you never want to see that 10th loss when you still have 7 or 8 games left to play in the regular season. And that's where they're at. That's reality. So it's not exactly what you want, but it's about how they respond, and they have an opportunity here. It's about how they take this and go forward. If they win that game, it does so much to the complexion of what this little string is. That's what life is like when you're just a few games away from getting closer to being just a 500 clubs or a 500 club. You know what I'm saying? And you're also just a few wins away from getting clear from that. You change a few of these things around, you're a 17-7 basketball team. That's really good. 10 games clear of 500. As it stands, you're 14-10. And they've lost 2 out of 3 now, albeit they're both true road games against teams who are pretty good on their home court, Illinois and Nebraska. And you were competitive. That's the other thing. You're competitive. You just want to see a little bit more from the front line. The backcourt for this Buckeye basketball team is doing so much good. It's beginning to look like it's a burden for them to have to do it every single night. Not just have to do it, but at least 2 of the guys there have to have huge games for you to be in it. I mean, you had Micah Parrish here pop off for 30 points. Micah Parrish gave you 30 points, and it was an 8-point loss for the Buckeyes. So, again, there's some things there. You want to see them increase their defense a little bit. They've been a much better defensive team down the last half of the season, but maybe not the greatest in that Nebraska game and certainly in that second half against Illinois. So hopefully that picks up. Women's basketball still really good, still top 10. They did lose both of those games out west. 2 really good teams. I know the USC game, the second one, did not go at all the way that they wanted to see that one go, but there were some bright spots against UCLA, the number 1 team in the country. So we'll talk to Kevin McGuff at the end of the hour, get his take on that as the women's team comes back home this week. They got 2 home games coming up. We'll talk some football with Stephen Means, who covers the program really well for the Plain Dealer. He'll be with us at 6:35, and we'll talk some recruiting aspects with Steve Hellwagon of Bucknuts and 24/7 Sports. He knows the football scene. He also has a really keen eye on Buckeye basketball recruiting as well. So we can hit both of those things. He'll join us at 7:12 tonight. But speaking of that men's team, the Buckeyes return to action Wednesday night against Washington. Our network coverage begins at 7:45 with the Toyota Buckeye pregame show. Coming up, we're going to hear from Coach Jake Diebler in our radio show Rewind as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready? It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
For 100 years, our passion at Atlas Butler has been helping people. From those who have relied on us for years to those who call us for the first time. For our team, their families, and our community, Atlas Butler is here to keep Central Ohio safe and comfortable with trusted, convenient service. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome back to this edition of Buckeye Roundtable. It is presented by Burger King. I'm Timmy Hall. I'm going to talk some Buckeye men's basketball coming up here. You guys can join Coach Jake Diebler as he looks back at previous games and gets you ready for the week ahead on Inside Ohio State Athletics. Saturday mornings at 11:30 in Columbus. That's on 10 TV. Also statewide on OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Time now for the Jake Diebler Show Rewind.
All right, Jake Diebler had the show today. Couldn't have been in the best of mood, but he always does a good show, puts his best face on, and tries to stay positive about this thing as they got 7 games left in the regular season. You win them all, you're 21-10. I don't think any of us expect this team to win them all, but you're trying to figure out it's year 1 of a program, right? And right now, they have a very good chance to be above 500 in a really deep and really competitive conference. That, to me, would be a win for a year 1 of a program. Trying to keep in mind, this was 2 years removed from making an NCAA tournament. That's the reason they moved on from Chris Holtmann, is because to elevate the standards and the expectations for men's basketball, it starts with going to the big dance. And then we talk from there. And then we keep lifting the expectations and we keep going from there. But here and now, 14-10, 3 home games coming up. You win those all. You win all those. I think you need to. And it starts with Washington coming up on Wednesday night. And that's a team that's near the bottom of the Big Ten standings. But as Jake Diebler talked about near the end of his show, it's still a team almost more so. These are exactly the kind of teams that you have to pay more attention to, not less when it comes down to it.
Again, playing their best ball of the year right now, coming off, they won at Minnesota, who's, been playing well, and then just beat Northwestern at home. So it starts with Asabor inside. He's a really good player, really good defender as well. And, I think they got multiple guys out there who are capable of knocking down shots and from the three-point range. They do a good job of attacking the paint and they change up their defense. So we have to protect our home court. They're coming in with some momentum, and we need to play at the level we're capable of. That's going to be the message. Is like we have to put our best foot forward. We got to bring our best stuff and get ready to defend our home court Wednesday night.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And look, he mentioned the key guy for Washington right there, and this is not what looks to be a vintage Washington team. And I don't know, like for people that are from here, that haven't really paid a lot of attention to Pac-10, Pac-12 basketball throughout the years. But I know there's a lot of NBA fans here in Ohio, and so you get to know a lot of the players from around the league. And a lot of people have to know Isaiah Thomas, right? Like Washington's program, they have actually put out some dudes, like just recently, you know what I mean? Like they have got a lot of guys that they have sent to the pros. Markelle Fultz was just recent. Matisse Thybulle came from that program. Mentioned Isaiah Thomas, Nate Robinson, who was always up there, playing above the rim at what was he, 5'7", but a really exciting player to watch, especially when he was in the dunk contest. Quincy Pondexter, he was one of the guys. You go back in the day, they had some big players as well, but a lot of good stuff coming from Washington basketball. But again, for this team this year, this is one of those that you got to just pay attention, make sure that you bring your game and play to win. At all costs, get these wins when you're at home. Let's go back to the loss to Nebraska, though, because some things there that we got to discuss to make sure they're fixing them so they can win these games at home, because I think they need to make some improvements in a certain area, or at least do as much as they can. I think the ceiling on where I'm going here is only so high, but they got to try to find whatever ceiling that is so they can alleviate what the backcourt is going through right here. Here was Jake on some of the struggles offensively against Nebraska. Because if you missed the story of this one, Buckeyes played pretty well in the first half, led by 5 on the road, which is always good, kind of neutralized the Pinnacle Bank crowd. But in the second half, they got an early 8-point lead, but it was a very early in the second half lead. Nebraska's going to make a run. But when they made their run, Ohio State just didn't have much of that response that you'd like to see, where they get that lead back and then play tough and smart down the stretch, hit shots, play good defense. And obviously they ran away with that 8-point win that you saw and hit their free throws down the stretch. But Deebs on the struggles offensively against the Huskers.
When you're missing a couple jump shots, like settle your offense. And that's where Devin Royal's been really good for us. So him not being himself and ultimately not playing as much as he normally would impacted us. In that moment, we got to figure out how to still play through the paint. I felt like there were some possessions where we settled too quickly for perimeter jump shots and didn't test the paint enough to try and get a better look or get to the free throw line, which can help in those stretches too.
God love Evan Mahaffey, and Jake Diebler praised Evan Mahaffey on the show today for just his effort and what he was able to do, rebounding the ball. He got you 5 and 5 and an assist in 23 minutes, and they needed it. They needed the hustle. They needed the energy. He was 2 for 3 from the field, as I look down and see. But the one that he missed, it was borderline a dunk. It was right under the basket, and it was in this little stretch where he missed that one, and not too much longer after that, Aaron Bradshaw missed one that was right at the rim. Now, some of the issues with the big guys has been fouling. That's Sean Stewart's issue. He is playing hard, and you can see at times he's starting to get it. He gives you some elements defensively where he gets into passing lanes and can get out and run and maybe throw down a dunk for you. He's hit the boards as good as any of the big guys at times. I'd like to see a little bit more still, but he fouls. Now, Aaron Bradshaw, he's been fouling as well, but in this game, he wasn't in foul trouble, but he only was on the court for 14 minutes. There was a play in the second half where he got a defensive rebound, and then one of the guards for Nebraska, it might have even been Hoiberg's son, because he had some plays in this game as well. Maybe it was one of their other guards. Either way, You're 7'1", you get the defensive rebound. Rebounds are critical for this team right now. They got outboarded 37-28 in the game, and that was part of the story of this one. But you've got to have enough toughness and physicality to finish the play and keep that focus through the rebound so you don't bring it down and let a guard take it from you and then turn that into a basket. And then that was when the game was 48-48, and Nebraska used that as a way to create momentum to then propel them to victory. That was a big play for those of you that believe in momentum, and boy, do I. And that's what it was. And it was another one of those plays where then you look at the bottom line of what is this front court giving Ohio State? Offensively, defensively, rebounding, all of it. And you just would love to find a way to get a little bit more, to just challenge those guys on a daily basis with the hustle, with the physicality, with the toughness, with the energy, all of the above. Positioning, angles, fight, anything you can get where those big guys can play straight up defense, hands to the sky, not bringing the arm bars down, not chicken winging guys, not doing those little things that the refs are going to ultimately call, and then getting your rear end on somebody and box out, classic style box out, and then propel yourself to the rim when you see that ball go up. Like, that's what you need from these bigs right now. Here he was on what happened in the second half when they went cold at Nebraska. More on the offense from Jake.
We were too just in general, we were too inefficient, especially kind of from our forwards. We were too inefficient in the paint. We needed to be more efficient. We needed to be able to, when you're missing a couple jump shots, like settle your offense. And that's where Devin Royal's been really good for us. So him not being himself and ultimately not playing as much as he normally would impacted us. In that moment, we got to figure out how to still play through the paint. I felt like there were some possessions where we settled too quickly for perimeter jump shots and didn't test the paint enough to try and get a better look or get to the free throw line, which can help in those stretches too.
I do want to see a better defensive game the next time out against Washington because their numbers have been better in that area, and I think that's a huge thing that could help them reach the tournament. And they let Nebraska shoot 52% in both the first half and the second half. And they out-rebounded them, and Nebraska got to the free throw line way more and made more of their shots as well. Buckeyes were 9 for 15 from the line. That was pretty woeful, and that's worse than we've seen them do. But they did talk about on the show today the toughness in the win over Maryland. They hit on that one too, which I agree with. It was really huge. And also about how John Mobley and Bruce Thornton are just starting to develop a new level of chemistry and just togetherness, just as they can sort of play a little 1-2 game and play off each other, and it just looks good out there. Just the connection that your backcourt has when those two are doing it. Again, coach's comments were presented by Kroger. Kroger Pickup is the easy way to get what you want right when you need it. Try Kroger Pickup today in the Kroger app or at Kroger.com. All right, we'll get back to football here. The road to the national championship flashback. Our segment continues. We're actually going on the road to Oregon. That game in the middle of October. Next, as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
Where more than 1,700 scientists are working on new treatments and new hope for every form of cancer.
You're making the choice to have the most advanced treatments, many of which were developed right here.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grilled Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland.
I'm Scott McComb,
Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
It's Toyota truck and all-wheel drive season with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, including all-wheel drive versions of the best-selling Corolla. Now through March 3rd, get low-rate financing on a Corolla or lease a gas-powered 25 Corolla LE for $229 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome back to this week's Buckeye Roundtable Show presented by Burger King. I'm Timmy Hall. We're about to do our Buckeye Football National Championship flashback. And it's okay that we will hit on a loss in this edition because it was one of the biggest games of the college football season. And we know how it all turned out. It turned out really well. So it's easier to do it that way. But hey, Buckeye fans, say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings with a fixed price plan with AEP Energy. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. And be sure to tune in each game for the AEP Energy halftime report.
It's time for the Buckeye Roundtable Road to the National Championship flashback. Hit it!
So like I said in the preview, we knew that this game was going to be maybe the top game in the entire college football season. Better game than Ohio State, Michigan. Now, that one did turn out to be quite the deal, right? And a lot of people outside of Columbus were, I'm sure, pretty thrilled with that one. But, I mean, you typically are looking at the Iron Bowl. That one didn't have the steam this year. You're looking at, you know, a Georgia-Texas, a Georgia-Alabama, a lot of the big SEC matchups. But Ohio State-Oregon, top 5 teams for sure, 1 and 2. Yeah, there was going to be a great chance of that happening, right, at the start of the season. And when you get to October 12th, you've got one of the biggest games that we've seen in the college football regular season in quite some time. And Ryan Day, in the buildup to this one, is previewing it, talking about, and this was incredible. This was like the second or third question that Ryan Day got asked about in the press conference leading up to the Oregon game. It was about the challenge that his cornerbacks were going to face with those Oregon receivers, Tez Johnson and company.
Yeah, they're going to get challenged this week in a lot of different areas, but, you know, those guys are a big part of the defense. And you know, every little piece matters when you're on defense. But that's a big part of it. And, you know, they have a big challenge this week, and good to see Davison, you know, get his hands on one last week. That was big. And, you know, Denzel got one the week before. So, you know, we got to have a great Tuesday practice right here and know that, you know, they're going to look to really challenge our guys on the outside.
So Davison Igbinosin comes up there. We know that he's had his issues being handsy at times this year, but had the pick, so feeling good going into it. Ryan Day knew that his quarterback, Will Howard, was doing everything he could do to prep himself for the big moment.
He came here for a reason. He came here to play in games like this, and he's played in games like this, but he's excited to do that, and his preparation's going to be the same. We always say that it's about us. Now, that being said, we got to be experts at our opponent and know our opponent cold, but, you know, it doesn't change our preparation. If our preparation has been, you know, to our standard up to this point, we just need to continue to do what we've been doing. So he's been looking forward to this game. Obviously, we all have been. So when the schedule came out, and so, you know, he's going to have a great week of preparation. But, there's a reason you come to Ohio State, and there's a reason he came, and for games like this.
All right, so we go to the game, right? We have our build up, and it's huge. We're going crazy. Our local station in Columbus going crazy talking about this game leading up to it, and it's getting a lot of national attention as well. So we get to the day. It's the first trip out there to Autzen. The pandemic wiped out what was supposed to be a great road trip for the Buckeyes years earlier. Now you're doing it. Conference partners, Big Ten game, Buckeyes ranked second, Oregon Ducks ranked third. Both are undefeated at this stage of the season. It's hyped up. It's only a 50 to 55,000 seat stadium, but everyone that went there and everyone that's talked about it just says you got to see Autzen. You got to see what an Oregon Ducks football game is like. So you get to it, and we got that first drive, and it's pretty good for the Buckeyes. It's a 75-yard drive, and it ends with a Buckeye touchdown.
Will Howard, up man in the pistol, kicks it himself, running behind Judkins, and he goes into the end zone. Will Howard for an Ohio State touchdown. Howard takes it into the end zone for his 5th rushing touchdown of the season, and off the opening drive, the Buckeyes take it down and score, leading 6-0.
Pretty good balance for the Buckeyes on that drive. They're up 7-0. Jordan James comes back, and Oregon gets on the board to potentially tie this game up. They wind up going for 2. They don't get it. So it's 7-6. Buckeyes lead. They hit him back with a 4-play, 74-yard drive. That was nice. Quinshon Judkins capped it off with the touchdown. It's 14-6. Then they're kind of going back and forth. Evan Stewart caught a 10-yard touchdown from Dylan Gabriel. Then Oregon chipped in with a field goal. So they're up 15-14 now. Then Ohio State's offense, they got one back. This is how it sounded.
Smith is wide to the right. 2 flankers to the left. Henderson in the backfield to the left of Will Howard. Howard gets the snap. Fakes a handoff. Sets up the pass. Tosses left side. Wide open catch. Ibuka into the end zone for a touchdown. Emeka Ibuka as he hauls that one in and takes it into the end zone to shift the Buckeyes back in front. 20-15, Ohio State on a 15-yard pass play.
That was a beautiful play, but the half wasn't over yet, and Oregon had something, and that's when we go back to the pregame comments from Coach Day about how the corners were going to be tested.
3 wide to the right, 2 wide to the left. Gabriel back to pass. Pressure coming. Gabriel now cranks and fires deep down the right side of the field, and it's caught at the Ohio State 10 and into the end zone for an Oregon touchdown goes Tez Johnson as he beat Denzel Burke down the right side of the field. And the Ducks strike with a big play on offense, and that'll put them back in front. Well, right for the moment, it ties the game at 21.
7-play, 75-yard drive. Not too many 7-play drives end with almost a 50-yard touchdown catch, right? Like that's, and that he blew by Denzel Burke in that one. And we remember the issues there. Jeremiah Smith, he was not going to be held down. He was still tacking on touchdowns at the start of his career. He got it back for the Buckeyes in the third.
2nd and goal at the Oregon 6-yard line. 4 down linemen on the front for Oregon. Snap to Will Howard. Back to throw. Looking left. Looking middle. Now Howard will run to the right. He's at the 10. Throws in the end zone. Caught on a rolling catch for a touchdown by Jeremiah Smith in the right corner of the end zone as he worked his way past the defender Brandon Johnson. And just when it looked like Howard was going to tuck it and run, he finds Jeremiah Smith on a 6-yard TD pass.
Just listening to these, and did I mention that that's Paul Keels? That's our Hall of Fame play-by-play voice on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield. So the Buckeyes got that goal line stand, right, in the third quarter, hoping that would be key after the Jeremiah Smith touchdown there. But Ohio State was not able to do anything with that. They couldn't get anything done, so that went for nothing. And then Dylan Gabriel, he's going to make a big play at the start of the fourth quarter to again reclaim the lead for the Ducks.
Dylan Gabriel in the shotgun. Jordan James off his right-hand hip. Ferguson, tight end, flexes out to the right. And Gabriel keeps the ball himself, running left side. He gets to the Ohio State 20, to the 15, middle of the field, and he'll take it to the end zone. Jordan James on a 27-yard touchdown run as he faked out the Ohio State defense.
All right, so we go forward and we trade off field goals. Jaden Fielding gets one. Buckeyes are up 31-29. Sappington gets one with 1:47 left, a 19-yard chip shot, 32-31, but the Buckeyes have time, right? Well, we zip ahead to the end, near the end, where Dan Lanning puts 12 men on the field when there's 10 seconds left to evaporate some more clock when the Buckeyes are going to run that next play. This was the guy's call of what had happened there in the penalty.
Yeah, you're looking at a 60-yard field goal. That's not here. Now you got to take a shot at the end zone.
Illegal substitution. Defense has 12 on defense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Oh.
Well, it makes it a 55-yarder. We kick it.
Well, you saw Jaden Fielding attempt a 50-yarder in Ann Arbor last year and missed it.
So this was a reporter asking Dan Lanning afterwards a little bit more about that.
Commentary world has decided and struck you as a genius, Dan, for the 12-man penalty and declared that it was intentional. Was it indeed intentional to induce the throw one-on-one against Jabbar in that spot?
He wasn't one-on-one. We actually had a safety on top. So there was so it's called dog. It's when you play, but he wasn't in extremely tight coverage, but he was in dog coverage where he had safety on top of him. And, there was a timeout before that. We spent an inordinate amount of time on situations. There's some situations that don't show up very often in college football, but this is one that obviously was something that we had worked on. So you can see the result.
Better not be one-on-one. You got 12 guys out there, right? That's the whole point, is that you shade an extra receiver. And if you give up 10 or 15 yards, it's not really worth it, because then Ohio State might get a reasonable field goal try out there. But then it ended. We, of course, had the Jeremiah Smith offensive pass interference that was before that didn't help, and maybe a clock issue for Ohio State not using the timeout after the Smith penalty. But then here's how it ended.
No, they're going for it.
They're going for it. 3rd and 20, Ohio State with the ball at the Oregon 38 with 6 seconds to play. Snap to Will Howard. Back to pass. Howard looks, steps up, looks, now takes off running. Will Howard to get to the Oregon 30 and slide and go down.
Game's over.
And that's the game. Will Howard took off running, and that killed the game. And Oregon, in a back-and-forth game, wins it 32-31 here in Eugene, handing Ohio State their first loss of the season.
That close just to get down and get that, just get the spike. I don't know. You get down and take the timeout. They had the timeout, and that's how it ended. And Ohio State loses 32-31, their first loss of the season. But again, it was all just a part of the pieces of a national championship season for Ohio State. That is the latest edition of our flashback. Coming up, we're going to talk some more Buckeye football, because so much going on with the staff as we look back to the future and what the Buckeyes hope to do in 2025, trying to get a repeat. We're going to hit the red zone with Stephen Means of the Plain Dealer as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
As the official hot dog of Ohio State athletics, Sugardale is dedicated to delicious. Whether you're cheering on the Buckeyes at the game or grilling at your home tailgate, you can count on Sugardale to score a touchdown. Made right here in Ohio for more than 100 years, Sugardale has always taken a personal approach to making great-tasting, high-quality meats. Look for Sugardale hot dogs, bacon, ham, and more at your local grocery store.
Family dinners, game nights, and holiday parties. It all happens at home. And we want to help you realize your dream of homeownership. We're the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, and if you're ready to buy a home, we may be able to help. Visit myohiohome.org for more information on down payment assistance, lower interest rates, and more. OFA makes purchasing a home more affordable. Visit myohiohome.org. Home ownership. Make it part of your future.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership just got even better. Now you can choose from Disney Plus with ads, Hulu with ads, or ESPN Plus on us when you sign up. Plus, enjoy unlimited free delivery, double fuel points, exclusive offers, and free items. Sign up for a Boost membership today. It's an easier way to save, including new streaming options to relax with while we deliver your groceries. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
They're trained. They're fired up.
Let's do it.
When you need heat, they can't be beat. They're Ohio State's undefeated heating and cooling team. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Your Ohio State flagship station, The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Back here on Buckeye Roundtable, it's presented by Burger King. I'm Timmy Hall. We're going to get back to Ohio State football, current and future, not the past, as we just did our flashback and hit on that famous Oregon game. The bad one, not the good one. The next time we talk about an Oregon game in the flashback, it'll be the good one, the Rose Bowl. But hey, Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Joint partners American Electric Power, Kroger, Donato's, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Buckeyes Care.
Buckeye Roundtable Red Zone.
All right, he is our guy, Steven Means. He covers everything Buckeye football for the Plain Dealer and does it as well as anyone. Follow all his stuff there. Steven, thanks for the time. We got a lot going on with this staff. It's not going to quit anytime soon. I guess we still need the defensive coordinator situation ironed out, right?
College football never stops. I don't know if I like it or not, but college football never stops.
It's like the NFL now, right? It's like you got March for free agency in the league. It's just transfer portal until they figure out what they're going to do with the windows, which I don't think they can close off that post-spring portal window. I don't think coaches would go for that. But you're right. It never shuts down.
The off season has failed to exist, partially because you over the window, we still consider these people to be student athletes, and so we have to abide by certain rules.
Yeah, no kidding. But Steven, when you are looking at this staff, what about Keenan Bailey being elevated from tight ends coach to co-offensive coordinator, and how that's going to work with Brian Hartline now?
Yeah, I don't want people to look into that too much. Listen, when you win a national championship, everybody wants your coaches, right? They want your players, they want your coaches, and obviously you've lost a couple. Switch to the NFL, one to a division rival, at least historically division rival. There's no divisions anymore. But people have been trying to pull Keenan Bailey away from Columbus for who knows how long, right? Even before he was a full-time assistant coach when he was in GA and QC, people were trying to get him away. So this is a way to keep Keenan Bailey here, give him a bump with a pay raise, and the responsibilities of it, I think that his role in some ways will be Brian Hartline to Brian Hartline's Chip Kelly, if that makes sense, where the co-coordinator part is more about the salary that comes with it than it is about the overall responsibilities. But it is the next step for Keenan Bailey, who, I'm going to be honest, if he's a coordinator somewhere in the next 3 or 4 years, I won't be shocked. If he's a head coach somewhere in the next 5 to 8 years, I wouldn't be shocked by that either.
I mean, it appears to be well thought out, and we know the way that Ohio State went about this the last time. They went out and made some splashy hires. They're doing the complete opposite, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong if they believe in the bright minds that are there. And Day, and a lot of people pointed to like, he must be going somewhere with this. He said that he was probably the most unsung hero on our staff, the hardest worker in the building. That was at the celebration at the stadium last month. Day's words about Keenan Bailey.
Yeah, I think there's two ways to look at what Day is doing this time around. There's last year's staff was, I have to be sure about every single decision I make because my job might be on the line, right? Yeah. When you go on a roster like that, you need to pair it with staff. You can't take chances. Something has to happen. You got to beat Michigan. You got to win the Big Ten. You got to win the national title. Now, they did one of those three things, but they did the ultimate one of those three things. So it is working out. I think now that Day's got this first ring off his back and he's gotten over that mountain, I think you can start to see Ryan Day's coaching tree starting to get built here. Because I don't really consider Jeff Hafley to be a part of that because it happened so quickly. But when you look at this offensive staff especially, Brian Hartline, does anybody think he won't be a head coach at some point in his career? Right? I mean, Seriously, I mean, with Keenan Bailey, the stuff you hear about him in his mind is he's more of a schemer. He's more up Ryan Day's alley. That's a guy who I think won't be shocking because he's a head coach somewhere one day. Tyler Bowen, the new offensive line coach, he's young. That's a guy who maybe has head coaching aspirations. Of this offensive coaching staff, Carlos Loughlin's the only guy over the age of 38. And then when you add in the defensive staff, the only people right now, as they're still looking for a defensive coordinator over the age of 38, are Tim Walton and Larry Johnson, two older guys who are kind of, this is what they're going to be. Everybody else, even when you include Matt Guerrieri and James Laurinaitis, they're all guys who are climbing. They're climbing the ladder right now. They're climbing the professional ladder. And so, I don't know, 10, 15 years from now, if you're looking for where's Ryan Day's coaching tree, the beginning of it, it's going to be some of these guys who are maybe head coaches all around college football, or even the NFL level.
No, Stephen Means from the Plain Dealer. It's a great point. You couldn't do that last year or the year before, or even 3 years ago when you hired Jim Knowles. You needed to go out and get a bona fide, proven defensive coordinator because of where your defense had to go, and it had to go there now. And now you got a massive extension, so you can do some of these things and see if these guys that are in your program are going to also turn out to be stars. And that could be the case. They bring in Tyler Bowen from Virginia Tech to handle the offensive line in the run game. But Stephen, I want to ask you, with spring ball starting up in a month and a week, March 17th, and Ohio State announced today it'll end with some sort of, maybe not, they weren't calling it the game, but the spring showcase. There it is on April 12th on Saturday. But what's your biggest storyline going into spring football for these guys?
Well, obviously it starts at quarterback. Even if we think Julian Sands, the leader there to win the job, can Lincoln Kienholz going into year 3 make a push? Is he ready to do so? Mm-hmm. Obviously, Tavian St. Clair is a guy who's probably in more of a developmental year this year, even if he's a 5-star quarterback. But outside of that, I don't even know if I could start a list. The list is probably as long as the Nile River is at this point, because you're losing all but 3 starters on defense. You're losing all the full-time starters on the offensive line. I know Luke Montgomery and Tegra Shabola and Carson Hinsman and Austin Servelt all got time this year, but we're talking about day one starters. Tegra's it. That's the only guy coming back. You're losing your top 2 running backs. Their only established things going into the spring right now are Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, and then Brandon Ennis to some extent, but there's just not a lot of established guys. This is a bit of a reset for the entire roster. That was the end of a chapter, and they ended it with a ring. They ended it the right way, but now starts a brand new chapter of Ryan Day's era as a head coach, and there's a lot of exciting, young, talented guys who have maybe waited their turn, whether you're talking offensive line, quarterback, cornerback, linebacker, defensive line. This is probably the most intriguing spring Ohio State has had since 2021, when this group that we just saw walk out the door, all those guys were the young guys we were talking about.
Yeah, it's going to be wild, right? We're going to have a lot to write about, a lot to talk about. A month and a week, and like you said, maybe 3 stars. Like I could see Carnell Tate at star status, but Jeremiah Smith, Caleb Downs, and Carnell Tate, right, for extremely proven commodities. And then let's see what we got. We know there's going to be some more stars. It's just about who's going to step up. Stephen, always appreciate the time talking Buckeye football. Thanks for coming on the show.
Anytime.
Yep, good stuff. There you go. Stephen Means from the Plain Dealer with some Buckeye football topics. Just a lot going on, setting the staff, and then more importantly, when we get to spring ball, get to see what the roster is going to look like. That's another reason why we kept saying it was so important to win the national championship. It was all in. The hires you made. No Bill O'Brien. Okay, we'll go Chip Kelly. Got to win now. They didn't win the first 2 things, like Steven said. We got to win. Michigan game of the Big Ten title, but they won the national championship, so it saves all that. The Foundation is operating a 50-50 raffle at each Ohio State home men's basketball game this season, with proceeds supporting community-based NIL opportunities and the Foundation charities. For more on how you can participate, go to the Foundation social media channels. We've got Kevin McGuff talking women's basketball next as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan. You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
It's Toyota truck and all-wheel drive season with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, including the best-selling Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through March 3rd, get 4.99 APR financing on Camry or lease a Camry LE from just $289 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing with approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Gearing up for the Buckeyes game? Get your living room ready with feature-packed finds from Bob's Discount Furniture. Shop reclining sofas, sectionals, and love seats that have everything you need for a winning watch party. We're talking zero-gravity, recline, and power headrests, built-in USB ports, drop-down tables with cup holders, all for hundreds, even thousands less than the competition. See how much you can save President's Day weekend at Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Back here on Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, I'm Timmy Hall. The 2025 Buckeye Cruise for Cancer is going to set sail on the Silver Sea Silver Moon. It's an intimate ship with even a better experience, all-inclusive beverages, shore excursions, taxes, gratuities, sail from Fort Lauderdale to bucket list ports like Jamaica and Nassau, Bahamas, with plenty of former Buckeye greats. Call 614-792-6204 to book today. Always a great night to catch up with Kevin McGuff and talk some women's hoops. Kevin, I would imagine a part of this, coming back from the West Coast trip, is to try to get the team to keep their heads up. Still a really good team. Obviously, it wasn't the way you wanted to finish in that second half against USC, but what went on out there when you think back on the two games, UCLA and USC?
Yeah, long trip for sure. Spent basically 6 days on the West Coast in LA. And in the first game against UCLA, I thought we really competed at a high level. We defended very well against a really talented team. They got away from us a little bit in the fourth, but just the overriding theme was we couldn't make any shots. I mean, we could not score the basketball. And then that spilled over to Saturday against USC as well. Our defense wasn't quite as good as it was against UCLA, but the same thing. Every time we had a chance to really make a dent and take a slice out of the lead, we got open shots. We couldn't make them. And so we're just really not shooting the ball real well. which also allows us to not get into the press as much as we normally do. When the shots are going in, we can get organized in that. And so, yeah, we've got to find a way to just manufacture and some more points and make some open shots.
Obviously, I mean, Kevin, there are things that you can do as a coach. There are things that you and your staff can do when you're having a bit of an off shooting night, right? But when it's sub 30%, that makes it a little bit even more trying. And that's what you were going up against. I'm sure you're just as shocked as anybody to see that both of those games, you didn't hit the 30% mark. And in that UCLA game, you're right, you're still in a 48-48 ball game against the number one team in the country on the road at Pauley. You guys had 23 steals in that game that helped keep you around.
Yeah, it helped keep us in it. But like I said, you're not beating either one of those teams on the road or probably anywhere if you're going to shoot less than 30%. It's just not happening. And so, I think for the most part we continue to compete defensively, but we've got to make some shots if we're going to beat the best teams in the country.
Well, I would hope that there's something else you're going to take from that trip. Like you said, that it was 6 days. Did you guys have a good time being together? And I know you guys had that plan we talked about last week where the girls had raised some money for the victims of the fires out there. Just being together as a team for a whole week on the West Coast had to give you something positive.
Yeah, I mean, our kids really like each other, and we didn't do like a whole lot of social stuff, but a couple of them, went down to Santa Monica one day when we were in Westwood, and they did some shopping when we were downtown before we played USC, and so they spent some time together. And like I said, we have great chemistry. The kids really enjoy being around each other.
That's good. So what does the practice week ahead look like here? You got another few days until you're back at home, and this is nice. First of 2 straight home games. It starts with Minnesota on the 13th, 7:30. Guys, you can go to OhioStateBuckeyes.com and check out the ticket situation there. But obviously a big one when you're coming off of 2 straight losses, and you're going to expect a response.
Yeah, no, and it's certainly a big one, and we'll practice tomorrow and Wednesday to get prepared for Thursday evening's game. And the thing about it is Minnesota's a really good team. They're really having a great season. Their coach is one of the better coaches in our league. They'll be very prepared, and hey, they watch these last 2 games just like we did, and so they're certainly going to probably make us try to score from the perimeter before anything else. So hopefully we can have a great week of practice and get ready because they're a very, very good basketball team.
This is a team that's also hunting their 20th win. I mean, we talked about the strength and the depth in the Big Ten Conference. They're kind of in the middle of the pack in conference standings, but they've won a lot of basketball games. So you know that you're going to have a confident team coming in. But how do they play? Who are you looking to stop in this one?
They've got a good post player, so our post defense has got to be on point. But they've got really good shooters on the perimeter. They can get really hot from the 3-point line, and defensively they're very organized and disciplined, and they kind of play, scouting report defense. We like to call it, like, okay, so and so's a good shooter, we're up on them. So and so's not, we're back off of them, and so they're going to get a lot of people in the paint and make it hard for us to drive and make us have to shoot perimeter jump shots.
They got about 8 different players that can hit you for double-figure scoring on a given night. But just in watching your team, Kevin, I know we talked about how you guys have changed from last year with some key players cycling in and out of the program. We're getting pretty late into the season, but how have you liked how at least some of the freshmen have stepped up? Jelani Cambridge, I mean, she seems to just play so hard every time I watch her. The hustle meter is always way up there, and just how hard she plays the game, you got to love.
She plays extremely hard. She's very coachable, and she really creates an incredible pace on offense for us. And she can really flying up and down the court and putting a lot of pressure on defense to get back and stop that. So, but she's she's a great kid, and I just think in general where we're at is still in a mindset of when we're good, we're really good. We just have to get closer towards 40 minutes with being good. So it's just us being more consistent. And so, it's hard to emphasize a bunch of different things this time late in the year, but we will look at some different lineups and just make sure we're playing the right people together to have the most efficient lineups out there.
Yeah, we look forward to the next one in a few days. Kevin, did you get a chance to watch that shocking Super Bowl last night?
Yeah, wow. How about the Eagles? They were spectacular, and man, they were really good, and they showed up ready, and what a great game for them.
Defensive line, dominant, right? Just gave Mahomes no chance. I guess some people were ready to see the Chiefs not be the winners anymore.
I'm one of those people.
Kevin, always appreciate the time. We'll talk next week. Good luck in the 2 games coming up.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All right, good stuff always every week with Kevin McGuff. Shout out to Paris Campbell while we're mentioning the Super Bowl. That was one of the biggest blowouts. I know, like by stats, it didn't go down as the third biggest blowout of all time. But my goodness, that was. You could tell quite early that the Chiefs had no chance to win that game with the game they brought. But Paris Campbell, a Philadelphia Eagle, so a Buckeye winning a Super Bowl. We got plenty coming up in hour 2 of Buckeye Roundtable. Lots of football, lots of basketball. Don't go anywhere. It continues next.
Life is more fun with a pal. So is pizza. So check out Donato's new $5 Pizza Pals menu. Order any large pizza and add on your choice of a sub, salad, wings, a 10-inch pizza, and more for just $5. It's the new $5 Pizza Pals menu from Donato's. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donato's. Gotta love more.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
They're trained. They're fired up.
Let's do it.
When you need heat, they can't be beat. They're Ohio State's undefeated heating and cooling team. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith, Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University, Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag #BuckeyesCare.
Family dinners, game nights, and holiday parties. It all happens at home, and we want to help you realize your dream of homeownership. We're the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, and if you're ready to buy a home, we may be able to help. Visit myohiohome.org for more information on down payment assistance, lower interest rates, and more. OFA makes purchasing a home more affordable. Visit myohiohome.org. Home ownership. Make it part of your future.
Gearing up for the Buckeyes game? Get your living room ready with feature-packed finds from Bob's Discount Furniture. Shop reclining sofas, sectionals, and love seats that have everything you need for a winning watch party. We're talking zero-gravity, recline, and power headrests, built-in USB ports, drop-down tables with cup holders, all for hundreds, even thousands less than the competition. See how much you can save President's Day weekend at Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good evening, I'm Buddy Wells. The 2024-25 football season came to a close last night in New Orleans with Super Bowl 59 in a game that wasn't as close as the final score might indicate. The Eagles hammered the Chiefs 40-22 as Philadelphia claims their second Lombardi trophy in franchise history. The Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts was named the game's MVP after racking up 293 yards and 3 scores. We have updated top 25 rankings for both men's and women's college hoops. For the men, Auburn is still number 1. They're followed by Alabama, Duke, Florida, and Tennessee in the top 5. The Ohio State men will be
back on the hardwood on Wednesday night. That's when they host Washington at 8:30. On the women's side of things, unbeaten UCLA is still number one. They're followed by Notre Dame, Texas, South Carolina, and LSU. The Ohio State women slipped down one spot this week from number 8 to number 9. The Buckeye women will be back at it on Thursday night. That's when they host Minnesota at 7:30. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
It's Toyota truck and all-wheel drive season with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, including the best-selling RAV4. Now through March 3rd, you can get 4.99 APR financing on a new gas-powered 25 RAV4 or lease a gas-powered 25 RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing with approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, is on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hour 2 of Buckeye Roundtable is upon us. I'm Timmy Hall. The show is presented by Burger King. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you are listening, all across the great state of Ohio and beyond on the network. And if you didn't know, you can also watch the show. Maybe you were listening. Maybe you are getting close to pulling into the driveway and you don't want to sit in the car for another hour. Go inside, flip on YouTube, just search WBNS Radio, our Columbus affiliate, and you can watch the show right here. And hello, I'm waving to you right now as we're getting ready to break down some high school basketball. But welcome back to the show. The Buckeye men's hoop squad, they're going to return to action on Wednesday night, big one against Washington, right? Our pregame coverage begins at 7:45 p.m. Right now, though, time to talk a little high school hoops.
It's time for the Encova Insurance High School Player Award on Buckeye Roundtable.
One of the highlights of the Roundtable show is the presentation of the Encova Insurance Archie Griffin Athlete of the Week Award. During each Roundtable show, Encova Insurance and the Ohio State Sports Network honor a high school athlete for their outstanding play and team leadership. This week, it's going to Richmond Heights senior point guard Joey Emery. Now, Emery, this guy's blossoming into quite an elite basketball player, and he's gotten this opportunity through hard work. He's got to practice against his teammate, De'Eric Barber Jr., for 3 years. And that experience and that toughness is now showing off. Now the former Northern Ohio Division IV powerhouse has another guy to go with Ohio State commit Dorian Jones and Barber. This is their first year in Division V. Joey's play, they think it's going to give them a great chance to win an unprecedented 4th straight state title, and they're just heating up. They just got back to it Friday. Emery had 26 points, led their team in an 87-54 win over Akron St. Vincent St. Mary. He had 10 points in the first quarter, started hot, got hotter. Barber even commented about how there was a JV game the year before where he thought Emery had a 50-piece in that game. That's the kind of score he could be. It's interesting because the Spartans are 10-9, but they've won 6 of their last 8. Emery is averaging over 14 a game, 5 dimes, and 2.5 steals per game. This week's recipient of the Archie Griffin High School Athlete of the Week Award. Encova Insurance, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Time now for the American Dairy Association Mini Statewide Top Performers on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Quick little check around the rest of the state. We'll stay up north. Quinn Woidke needs some recognition. The Kent State signee, star for St. Ignatius, helped his team beat St. Ed the day after he was named the Greater Cleveland Male High School Athlete of the Year. That's quite a 2-day punch. Woidke was just hanging in the weeds. It was a 22-15 ball game before knocking down 2 threes and forcing a St. Ed timeout. Then he and his teammate Damon Freary knocked 2 more down. Soon it was 40-17, and St. Ignatius blew him out 68-51. Looking to the west in the Dayton area, credit to the Monroe boys basketball team. They wrapped up at least a share of the Southwestern Buckeye League title, a 48-42 tight win over Edgewood on Friday. First conference title for the program since 06-07, so congrats. East to the Youngstown region, Heartland Christian took down Lisbon 77-47 for their 8th straight victory. Isaiah Matthews at 20 puts Heartland to 14-4 as they go into tomorrow's OVAC tournament. Looking to the Columbus area, how about Afrocentric? They just finished off a 14-0 run through the City South League, a 67-35 beatdown over Briggs. They sit on 20 straight wins since the loss to Huber Heights back in Game 1. So congrats to everyone there. Our top performers from around the state, presented by the American Dairy Association Mideast. A reminder from Ohio's dairy farmers. 8 ounces of delicious chocolate milk has 8 grams of high-quality protein with the power to fuel everyone from elite athletes to weekend warriors. We were talking about this in hour 1, how it's been pretty big times for Ohio State football as they get ready for what's next. You win a national championship. It is pretty normal that you had some really talented football players that are either going to age out or leave early to go to the NFL draft. We know the stories about the 2024 Buckeyes. We knew that back before the season even started. We knew that going back to last year's spring ball, that a lot of those guys could have left, and they decided to come back, and that's a big reason why they won, right? I mean, you don't have just take Travion Henderson and Jack Sawyer. You don't have those two guys, you're not winning the national championship. Like those, what Travion was to the offense, what Jack Sawyer obviously was to the defense, coming up with one of the biggest plays in school history, that mattered. So they're losing a lot, and they lost some coaches, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator gone. So they've been chipping away and getting their plan in place. Keenan Bailey elevates with Brian Hartline. Hartline's the OC, wide receivers coach. We all know that. Keenan Bailey, been on staff. He's going to assist Brian Hartline. You bring in Tyler Bowen, who is going to help out with the offensive line and be the run game coordinator. He comes in from Virginia Tech, but a neat guy, only 35 years old, with a ton of experience and been at a lot of different places. Joe Moorhead coached him for a little bit. He's seen as a really good offensive mind in the state of Ohio now, too. But Dane Sanzenbacher was on our TV affiliate, WBNS in Columbus, and the former Buckeye wide receiver, he breaks down Ohio State football now, and he just was giving some thoughts on the offensive hires in general, and he kind of went with the line that hiring from within is a really big deal for this team right now.
I think you want to, as much as you can, build an environment that's stable. You know, it's so, especially in today's college football, with so many changes happening, you don't know who you're going to have with players from year to year. As much stability as you can create, that's so important. And the other end of it is when you have talented coaches, talented recruiters, it's either promote them or they're not going to be there long. So I think it's a really smart move to keep as many of these guys here as you can and go ahead and promote from within.
Yeah, that's exactly the model that Ohio State is sticking with right now. And as we had Steven on from the Plain Dealer in hour number 1, and it was a great point where you just won a national championship. So you actually, as a coach, Ryan Day as a coach, you got a little bit more leeway to try some things. And that might even be a discredit to what these guys have done. I mean, you can just as easily make the case that they deserve it. These guys have put in the work. If everyone's worked someplace, right? It happens to a lot of us. It's just, there's a better vibe, there's a better mood when you get to see people at your workplace who you respect and who have worked hard, and then they are the ones that get elevated for great opportunities when they become open, because they have worked hard and they've got something to offer and they've got some new ideas or things that they can implement. It makes people around feel good when stuff like that happens to good people. So I like to see it. We're going to keep talking about Buckeye football, a little Buckeye basketball recruiting as well. Steve Hellwagon from Bucknuts and 24/7 will join us and take us on the trail as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Union Home Mortgage knows Buckeye fans never leave Ohio State behind. We've helped millions of first-time home buyers get into their dream home through our 1% down payment program. Put as little as 1% down, and UHM tosses in up to 2% on the house. Learn more at UHM.com or call 877-846-4968. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,000 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye meal at BK. For $20, you'll get one juicy flame grill Whopper sandwich, one original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
It's Toyota truck and all-wheel drive season with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through March 3rd, get any new Highlander or Grand Highlander with 6.49 APR financing up to 72 months, including hybrid models with $1,681 per thousand borrowed, subject to approved credit through TFS. Plus, you get 2 years no-cost maintenance. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye football lives here. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome back to this week's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King. I'm Timmy Hall. We're going to talk some Buckeye football recruiting, touch on some hoops as well. The show is presented by Burger King. Like I said, you can visit your local BK restaurant and grab your $20 Buckeye Blitz bundle. That includes 2 Whoppers, a cheeseburger, 3 small fries, 3 small drinks, and a custom OSU crown. Can't forget that. Only at Burger King, where you rule.
It's time to talk Ohio State recruiting. This is Buckeye Roundtable's On the Trail.
We are joined by Steve Hellwagon of Bucknuts and 24/7 Sports. Steve, thanks for coming on the show. Football season is done after the Super Bowl, but it doesn't feel like football season is over at all, does it?
No, it never ends. And, for the Ohio State coaches, they get the congratulations of winning that championship on a Monday. And by the end of the week, they're already in high schools all over the country recruiting the next batch of Buckeyes. So it is a never-ending job. And, of course, with them having to do all of those playoff games, that kind of kept them off the road for those weeks, when other college coaches were out there making the rounds. Ohio State's coaches were having to text and call their recruits and say, well, I can't come to your school, I can't come to your house, but you catch us on TV Friday night. We're playing for the national championship. So there you go.
I think, Steve, maybe you would know this because I was sifting around earlier, and you mentioned, part of why I wanted to have you on is because a lot of these hires affects recruiting and who's on the boards. And when you promote from within, you maintain those relationships. And then even when you get a chip, like a piece, like a Tyler Bowen who comes in to coach offensive line, there was already – your colleague Bill Kurlick was writing about it. There's a prospect that Ohio State's very in on, and this young man was already voicing his opinion of how happy he was to see a guy like Tyler Bowen going to Ohio State. So things like that are good to see.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I think that kids nowadays understand that while there is a lot of stability in these programs, there are going to be some changes that are made, and they see it in their everyday lives at their high school. They could play for 1 or 2 or 3 head coaches in their 4 years. They could attend 2 or 3 high schools in their 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, So losing a position coach like Justin Fry, who's been talking to them for months, and then have him replaced with Tyler Bowen, that's probably not the end of the world. And if he's being talked to by 10 schools, it's possible that 3 or 4 others also change offensive line coaches. So it is part of the day and age that we live in, kind of, the instability, I guess, within this entire industry. But, you look at it, and Ohio State is managing it the best way that they can, because Ryan Day is staying put. And so is Brian Hartline as the, backup as the coordinator. So you've got some stability there in that regard, and some continuity, I guess is the word I'm looking for, within the recruiting and the promises that are made and the things that are going to happen for these kids at Ohio State. That's what they're looking for.
I just said what I said about, promoting from within, and you kind of maintain some of the recruiting relationships. But for a guy like Hartline, who has been so good as a wide receiver recruiter and so good at just doing what he does, is there any concern that there might be a slight dip in that aspect of it, with more attention paid to being the OC?
No, because I don't think he'll let it dip. No? I think he has too much invested in the success of Ohio State. And I can't speak for him, and I haven't talked to him since the championship happened. But I can tell you that he is obviously invested in everything Ohio State at this point. He and his family are putting down roots here in Columbus, and it appears he wants to be here for the long haul. And whether that means one day, this is now his entire operation, I don't know. I can't predict the future. I don't know. But, Ryan Day has just agreed to a contract that'll take him, I think, through 2031, like 7 years down the line here. So, the future's a strange thing. You can't predict it. I mean, he could jump off in 2 years to go be the head coach at what school? A good school.
He could go to a good spot, Steve. You could go to
Iowa. Maybe he goes to Iowa.
Iowa State or bigger caliber than that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
not trying to put Matt Campbell out on the street, but you know what I mean.
No, I'm just throwing it out there. That, today I say that he's entrenched at Ohio State. But we don't know what the future, is going to hold for any of these folks. So, to me, he's invested at Ohio State, and he's going to continue to recruit as hard as possible to get the best players now, not only at wide receiver, but at every position on offense to come and play for Ohio State. And he may even dip over, if there are relationships with high school coaches or whatever, on defense as well. I mean, you never know. So, they're going to use him to the fullest of his abilities, and his powers continue to be on complete display. So
Steve,
that's the long and short of that.
That is Steve Hellwagon of Bucknuts and 24/7 Sports Guys. He is actually also the #1 source on anything you need Buckeye men's basketball recruiting. So what good things do the Buckeyes have coming down the pike? I know Dorian Jones is in the state of Ohio. What about Marcus Johnson? And what's the deal there especially what's going on with Michi here this season?
Yeah. I talked to Marcus's dad, Sonny Johnson, the coach at Garfield Heights, which is Marcus Johnson's coach in his high school, Garfield Heights, and he's had a great year. He's in the running. He was one of the finalists as a sophomore last year for the Mr. Basketball Award. And then he went out on the Nike EYBL circuit, the 16-year-old level, for the guys who were going to be high school juniors. He was the leading scorer in one of the top leagues in the country. Now, what that doesn't tell you is that, probably 10 or 15 of the top juniors were actually playing up with the seniors at the 17-year-old level. But among the guys that played in the 16-year-old league, Marcus was the leading scorer. So he is a guy that has proven it in high school and on the travel circuit at the highest level with Nike. And he's a little bit bigger, I think, that people want to give him credit for. I think he's 6'2", 6'3", and he has just got an innate ability to produce points, either for himself or for somebody else. and he can score at all three levels. He's tough as a nail, and he'll go inside and battle. And, I don't want to say it's going to be almost a seamless transition from Bruce Thornton if he sticks around for a senior year to Marcus Johnson the following year, taking over as a freshman, kind of like Bruce did 3 years ago. But, it could very well be a seamless transition because I think Marcus has that ability to come in and be that type of an impact player. So there's a lot to like about him. He's in the top 50 nationally in that 2026 class. They've got two 2025 guys, Amari Bynum, a power forward, 6'8", 6'9", from Link Academy out in Missouri, one of the top prep school programs. And then, as you mentioned, Dorian Jones from Richmond Heights up in Cleveland area. They've won 3 straight state championships. I'm going to go for number 4 this year. I would think they're a lock given the watered-down divisions now with 7 divisions of high school basketball in the state of Ohio. I would think that they are a mortal lock to repeat as a state champion. We have to refer no more.
There's 7.
Nobody anymore is the state champion. They are a state champion. So you got that going for them, which is good. And then the other 2026 guy is right here in town, Alex Smith, 6'9", power forward, Upper Arlington, and I think he's had a pretty good year as well. I want to try and get out and see him as his team enters the tournament here in the next week or so. But, so much happening there. I think they're going to have to get some portal additions as well, at least 2 probably to augment this roster going into next year, and maybe more if there are guys who jump in the portal off this team.
I love it. Attention to Ohio guys for the near future here for Jake Diebler's program, and hopefully they get some big wins coming up here in this next swing with the 3 home games coming up. Steve Hellwagon, Bucknuts and 24/7 Sports, thanks for coming on our episode of Roundtable tonight. We appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
Yep. We'll see you soon, Steve. Appreciate it. We are going to talk some Buckeye men's hockey. We're going to go rinkside with Steve Rollick. They won 2 games on the road at Notre Dame this past weekend. They are getting hot and cold as ice at the same time. That's coming up. It's Buckeye Roundtable.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Family dinners, game nights, and holiday parties. It all happens at home, and we want to help you realize your dream of homeownership. We're the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, and if you're ready to buy a home, we may be able to help. Visit myohiohome.org for more information on down payment assistance, lower interest rates, and more. OFA makes purchasing a home more affordable. Visit myohiohome.org. Home ownership. Make it part of your future.
Hi, it's Alex Johnson from The Diamond Seller. Growing up in the family business, I've seen firsthand the joy and love that comes with finding the perfect engagement ring. For over 77 years, our family's been dedicated to providing the best quality, unmatched selection, and the guaranteed best price. From timeless classics to custom designs, we have the perfect ring for every love story. Let our family help you celebrate the moments that mean the most. Visit Diamond Seller today on Salmo Road or at Easton Town Center.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with great benefits, we also help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers. We're improving lives. We're reimagining healthcare.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership just got even better. Now you can choose from Disney Plus with ads, Hulu with ads, or ESPN Plus on us when you sign up. Plus, enjoy unlimited free delivery, double fuel points, exclusive offers, and free items. Sign up for a Boost membership today. It's an easier way to save, including new streaming options to relax with while we deliver your groceries. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome back to Buckeye Roundtable. It's presented by Burger King. I'm Timmy Hall. Hey, Buckeye fans, power up and carbon down with AEP Energy and Eco Advantage, their 100% renewable energy plan for your home or business. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
This is the Elk and Elk Report on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
So, Elk and Elk, we always take a look into the Ohio State men's basketball team and check out the injury situation. Well, they had a pretty big one in their road loss at Nebraska yesterday, and that's when Devin Royal just got landed on, and boy, was he in some pain. It looked like one of Nebraska's forwards, it was a clean play. They were both going hard for a rebound. Nebraska was playing mightily physical and energetic throughout much of that game, and that's a credit to them. They wind up winning. Like, you play with that kind of intensity, usually you're going to win. But both guys hustling for the ball, and then the forward's full body weight came down on Devin Royal's leg, and it was scary for a minute. I mean, he was yelling in pain. He did check back into the ball game, so I kind of had that as just a bad ankle injury. Jake Diebler on his radio show today just sort of labeled it a leg injury and called him day-to-day. So, boy, but the way the front line has played, not well, not giving them a lot of production in terms of points or rebounds, you really, really hope that Devin Royal is going to be there for the Wednesday night game against Washington. So I would love to see that. Our injury report was presented by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO.
It's time to hit the ice and talk some Ohio State hockey. This is Buckeye Roundtable's Rinkside with Rollick.
Never a bad night to talk some hockey with Steve Rollick. I love this guy. Steve, you got to be feeling good. I bet the coffee was good this morning. Couple of wins on the road.
Yeah, it always tastes a little bit sweeter on Monday morning drive into work, that's for sure.
We talked about that environment last week and what you were going to face going into Notre Dame. You got to love that venue. You got to love a couple of 5-1 wins even more, right? Take us back to the first one. What was the story?
Well, again, I think both games were a lot closer than I had on the score. Again, back and forth. And, on Friday they score a power play goal to go up, and we battled back to tie it, and then all of a sudden you get the lead, you stay ahead of the sticks, and our guys battled throughout, and our goaltender played very well, and so it's always nice to get that first win on the road on a Friday.
And then you take it to the next night where you get another win by the same score. I'm sure you're not expecting 10 goals when you're going on the road for a 2-pack in South Bend, but you did it, and Saturday game obviously looked a little bit different than that Friday game.
Yeah, you know what? It started national anthem. The Chicago Blackhawks guy that does a national anthem for them was in the building. It was Blackhawk night, and incredible. I mean, absolutely incredible. Sold out building, and just chills listening to the song. And for them, they got it going pretty good. We were on our heels most of the first period, and we scored a power play goal late to make it 1-1. So they had the locker room thinking, what do we got to do to beat these guys? So it was a huge goal for us there at the end of the first.
Yeah, same situation. Like, what does that say about your team that you can get down, that you can give up that first goal, but still it doesn't affect you guys? You stay calm, you keep playing your game. I mean, it's obviously a long hockey game. A 1-0 deficit in the first period shouldn't be a thing. It clearly isn't for your guys.
Well, yeah, our goaltender Logan played very, very well there in the first. He kind of held us in there, and then once we tied it up in that second period, we started chipping away, and we scored some nice goals. And again, we got better as the game went on. And, it was nice to see. We scored some nice goals. And anytime you get a sweep in this league, certainly makes for a good weekend.
Yeah, so you guys have just sort of you've been consistent, like there's always going to be times where you're on the wrong side of a 2-game pair. Like, that being in this conference for a long amount of time, except I don't think that has happened to you since all the way back in early November when Michigan State got you on a pair up in East Lansing. But now you look here and you've got a couple more sets to go and a big set at home against Wisconsin. Another good team, but when you talk about being at home, how excited are you for this pair on Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, Wisconsin, I don't think anybody ever outworks them, and they got talent, and we know that. And so every weekend's huge, every point's huge, and it's just our guys are excited to get back here, and hopefully we get another couple thousand students here, and we fill our barn and have a great atmosphere. And again, so far so good here at home, but like I said, every game's huge at this point.
Hard to believe, Steve, just 6 games left in the regular season before Big Ten tournament time, right? What does that do to just sort of everybody's senses? Are the hair standing up a little bit taller on the back of your neck when you get to the end here?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, you sign up to play in the best league in the country, and then all of a sudden that last month everything ratchets up a bit, and that's what makes it so fun. And, it pushes you to be the best. It pushes your players to be the best. And, that's all part of development. So it's an exciting time of year, and this is what you work so hard for.
You're 18 wins. You're sitting at 18 wins. Is there something about approaching that 20-win plateau even before conference tournament time that does something? I mean, clearly you want to have yourselves in a position where if you didn't win the Big Ten tournament, you're a lock. You're definitely in. And it seems like you guys, with your ranking in college hockey this year, with how you've played consistently throughout the season, that you have done that. I know you probably don't want to, the job's not done. Keep winning games, but that's what it's about, right?
Well, again, I mean, there's so much hockey left, and so many things can change in these last 6 games. So it's just so important. I mean, you think you can take a deep breath, but you always realize you've never got to the top of the mountain, and you always got to keep climbing. And we got to keep getting better. I mean, that's the bottom line. We got to keep getting better because every other team's pushing as well.
That had to show you that fight, though, with what you guys just did against Notre Dame. That this is not a club that's going to take that deep breath. That and in this conference, you've got to stay pedal to the metal the entire time.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, as soon as you take your foot off, you're going to get run over, and our guys realize that. We're not perfect. We're far from it. But we want to play our best hockey here down the stretch. I know it's cliche, but that's what you work for. And it's an exciting time of year to be in the Big Ten.
What's the number one thing you need style-wise that you need to be on point to win these games against Wisconsin?
It's the one-on-one compete. It's the puck management against a team like this. They're relentless. I mean, they are on you, and you got to be able to be ready for that. And obviously for us, stay out of the box, and let's not get into a special teams match. But it's their compete, and our guys know that, and hopefully we have a good week of practice here.
Yeah, clean game, receive the passes, make things difficult on Wisconsin.
Exactly.
I like that. I like that. Steve, did you catch the Super Bowl last night? I asked Kevin McGuff, were you shocked by that result back there?
Well, it's not too many where you can just turn it off at half, but it's kind of after the halftime show. It was time to check something else out. So unfortunately,
yeah. So you did. You flipped it. You were in the crew that flipped the Super Bowl, right?
I did.
It was the right call. I mean, that was we could tell in early second quarter, right? That Eagles team was just going to hammer them, and they did.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Yeah, they put on a clinic, that's for sure.
Man, physicality and toughness from the defensive line up front. Indeed, something your guys are going to want to have against the Badgers coming up here. You guys can go to OhioStateBuckeyes.com and check out the ticket situation. It is not a show that you want to miss when the Buckeye hockey team is in town. Steve, thanks a lot for the check-in. We'll talk next week.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you.
All right, can't wait to see how this team finishes up the regular season before they go on to the Big Ten tourney. Steve Rollick always with us on Buckeye Roundtable. We have got your Ohio College Hoops update coming up here, and we actually heard from Cincinnati Bearcats coach Wes Miller last week because their season was on the brink. Well, they've won a couple of games since I played you those clips of Wes Miller just sort of throwing it all out there. The press conference he had after their loss to West Virginia, where he said, "It's on me. It's got to matter when you wear that Cincinnati jersey. There's a certain kind of pride that comes with that." Well, there was something that may have helped trigger this response for Cincinnati. So you'll hear again from the Bearcats coach coming up here next as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Union Home Mortgage knows Buckeye fans never leave Ohio State behind. We've helped millions of first-time home buyers get into their dream home through our 1% down payment program. Put as little as 1% down, and UHM tosses in up to 2% on the house. Learn more at UHM.com or call 877-846-4968. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,000 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
We have acres of brand new Chevys, Chryslers, Jeeps, Dodges, and Ram vehicles, as well as used cars and trucks that you're looking for at the Jeff Weiler Columbus Auto Mall in Canal Winchester. And if we don't have what you're looking for, we can find it at one of our 23 other locations. So come shop the lot or view over 2,000 cars right at your fingertips at JeffWeilerColumbusAutomall.com. Plus, use Weiler Direct to see monthly payments, value your trade, and get pre-approved. Rooted in family, driven by you.
They're trained. They're fired up.
Let's do it.
When you need heat, they can't be beat. They're Ohio State's undefeated heating and cooling team. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hey basketball fans, Credit Union of Ohio wants to help you score more by making life more affordable. It's time to play with a team that helps you win every day. Credit Union of Ohio's loan rates have dropped to provide affordable financing for the things you want and need. It's time to reevaluate your current loans and consider refinancing with a team that cares about you. Check out current specials and get started scoring more money at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
Your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome back to Buckeye Roundtable. It's presented by Burger King. I'm Timmy Hall. Going to get to some more college basketball here. Hey, I mean, the Super Bowl's done. Football's done. We can start bouncing the ball full time, right, baby? And the Buckeyes do return to action Wednesday night against Washington. Our coverage begins at 7:45 with the Toyota Buckeye pregame show right here on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Buckeye Roundtable's Ohio College Hoops Update.
All right, I'm going to take a look around the Big Four here, and we're gonna talk about a coach who's been getting a little bit spicy here now, especially when I listen to a couple of these clips from his recent post-game press conference. Before, it was Cincinnati Bearcats coach Wes Miller just sort of being emotional and wearing it on his sleeve. And it was after they lost their fourth straight. I think they had dipped to 12-10 at that point. Not looking good. 2-8 in the Big 12. another poor offensive performance, lose to the West Virginia Mountaineers in front of a home crowd. He basically just said it's not good enough. Like, it's on me. I take accountability. It should mean something to put that Cincinnati jersey on and you wear it with pride, and we're not executing and getting the job done right now. I kind of enjoyed the comment. He let it out there. And then 2 wins later, so whatever they've done has worked. And it wasn't just that speech. Something actually got out, and we talked about it a little bit during the week, how they went and played dodgeball last Monday. Yeah, fire up a classic movie, right, with Vince Vaughn and Ben Stiller. What are the 5 Ds of dodgeball, guys? Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. That's it, right? Like, they found a gym, Cincinnati Bearcats men's basketball team, and they played some dodgeball. And they got the win over Central Florida, and they just got another win over BYU, and they blew them out. This was a BYU team that just beat them 80-52 in Provo a few weeks ago, and Cincinnati returned the favor and beat them 84-66. Something that's been needed. And the good news is, when you look at ESPN's Bubble Watch and look at some of the metrics, they kind of break it down into like each conference, and they have the locks, and then they have the should be in, which is also a good category to be in. Makes you a little bit bubbly, but they are in the should be in the Big 12, right behind Baylor. That's a 94% chance to go. I mean, they're in. BYU, 77% chance, and Cincinnati with a 75% chance to make the tourney now with this stretch. But Wes Miller, a little spicy after this win over BYU. I didn't get it as much why he was like this. You guys think about it for yourselves. You tell me if I'm wrong. But Wes Miller was asked about how, with them getting these 2 wins here, you now have an opportunity to grab your first 3-game win streak since you joined the Big 12. It's only the second year in there, but kind of a big deal to get hot. And for any team, like, we as Ohio State fans would love to see the Buckeyes just go streaking. Like, I was telling people here at work last week, like, when was the last time we saw Ohio State basketball really get on a conference win streak? Not just win back-to-backs. I'm not even talking about 3, but like a nice 5, 6, or 7-game win streak, to go all major league on you. That's called a winning streak. It has happened before. It can happen, right? You need to find time to just get hot and string some wins together. But this was Wes Miller when he was asked if he knew he was going for his first 3-game Big 12 win streak. He didn't really love the question. It was, I don't know.
My job as our leader is to focus on the things that I can control. Right now, all we can control is our preparation for Utah, our rest tonight, and our preparation for Utah on Tuesday. But when you do that and neat little streaks and breakthroughs happen, that's great. I haven't thought about it, and that'll be the last time I think about that kind of crap. I just want to try to win the next game.
Man, I just I would have given you the question from the reporter, but take my word for it. It was just nicely framed. There was no tone. It was just, so Coach, with the 2 wins here, you've actually got a chance to grab your first conference 3-game winning streak. Any thoughts on that or what goes into that? And that was he calls it crap like that and neat little streaks. Sorry, but I am a basketball guy. I think a 3-game winning streak is neat. I do, because that means you're putting things together and you're doing the right things over and over again. Now, this was Wes and this was kind of when you are having some fun, right? Because the mood should be lightened. You won 2 games. The story came out about you playing dodgeball. Someone asked have you been hearing from any other coaches about tips on getting a dodgeball game together? Oh boy, listen to his reaction to that.
None, because coaches know that there's no gimmicks and tricks, and I actually didn't want that to even be a media thing or a public thing, because it's, I get it. People love stories and narratives. I get it. I mean, people want to read about stories and narratives, but guys, we're not playing well because we played dodgeball. The only thing dodgeball did was just give us a day to get away from all the stuff that's been going on with not playing well. It just gave us a chance to go be kids, including the coaching staff, and have some fun and realize that if we play basketball like we're kids having a good time, we'll play better. So we're not a damn dodgeball team, and I like stories are cool, and being a part of a team and doing stuff like that's cool, but I'm so sick of hearing about it in media because it's not about that. These guys are playing better basketball. They're playing confidently. They're playing more together. They're playing more spirited like we've always known they were capable of, and that, to me, that's the story, not some gimmick on Monday because we needed a little bit of a break.
No, I know. Wes Miller, Cincinnati basketball coach, folks. To me, he's wound up tighter than a drum. Woo! It was the dodgeball question. And I'm doing Brian Windhorse hands here, like the meme. Coach, did you ever think for a minute maybe you did play better because you played dodgeball? I get what you're saying, like what dodgeball didn't do it, but then you just spent a better part of that clip making the point that it loosened us up, it helped us have fun. That's why you played dodgeball, right? Because you were all way too overthinking it, too stressed out, not having any fun. I've heard a lot of teams in different sports do things like this. There's the clip in the remake of The Longest Yard, right, where the guards flood the field and then they go out there and just do slip and slide and have fun. Like, whatever. Like, just break things up. I really did just throw a Longest Yard reference out there on how to get your team right, get you playing right, because that's maybe where we're at with Cincinnati basketball. But by the way, on the Bubble Watch for the same article for ESPN, they didn't update the Joe Lunardi bracketology in the last 3 days, but the Bubble Watch was updated, and Ohio State, even with the loss to Nebraska, 83% chance to make the NCAA tournament. They're in the should-be-in category for the tournament. They're not a lock, but they're in that best of the rest, should be in with Maryland, Wisconsin, UCLA. UCLA's 88%, Ohio State 83%. So that is pretty good, but still with a 14-10 record, you got 3 home games coming up starting against Washington here on Wednesday night. You need to get the job done. You need to win it. Looking at Dayton, the rest of Ohio's Big Four here, they're 16-8, 6-5 in the A-10, sitting in 4th. They let a good one slip away because they had a home game against VCU that's above them in the standings. They're at 9-2 and 19-5 overall, and a good crowd, but they lost at 73-68, so they will be next up in 2 days on the road at Fordham. And Fordham's always going to have a pretty good crowd as well. And then looking at Xavier, Xavier's got the same record as Ohio State, but it's not even close because of the strength of schedule. They're 14-10. They are listed as having work to do. And time's running out. 28% chance to make the tournament with the team they put together. That's not what Sean Miller wanted to see. That's not what they were looking for there, but they've had struggles finding any kind of consistency this year. They had a 3-game win streak there that culminated with a road win against top 10 Marquette, and they came back and had a top 20 win against UConn. So they have a couple of nice wins on the schedule there, so they got a game against Creighton coming up too. It's a home game. That's going to be basically a must win because they don't have any more of the Big East big dogs aside from Creighton to help boost their schedule. They have another game against DePaul. They have 2 against Providence and 2 against Butler. And Butler and Providence are both really, really bad. They're both 11-13, under 500 teams right now. So we'll see what happens with the Musketeers. But for the Buckeyes, let's get this back on Wednesday. Got to be Washington. Win those 3 games. Win these 3 home games. Defend home court. Front line, forwards, centers. Step up. Step up. Challenge yourselves to get a little bit more physical and hit the glass and do some more things for this team. Help those guards out that are doing a whole lot for this basketball team right now. We will take a look around the Block O. A lot of fun things going on with some of these other Ohio State sports teams here. That's coming up as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grilled Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
Union Home Mortgage knows Buckeye fans never leave Ohio State behind. We've helped millions of first-time home buyers get into their dream home through our 1% down payment program. Put as little as 1% down, and UHM tosses in up to 2% on the house. Learn more at UHM.com or call 877-846-4968. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,000 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Life is more fun with a pal. So is pizza. So check out Donato's new $5 Pizza Pals menu. Order any large pizza and add on your choice of a sub, salad, wings, a 10-inch pizza, and more for just $5. It's the new $5 Pizza Pals menu from Donato's. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donato's. Gotta love more.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Family dinners, game nights, and holiday parties. It all happens at home. And we want to help you realize your dream of homeownership. We are the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, and if you're ready to buy a home, we may be able to help. Visit myohiohome.org for more information on down payment assistance, lower interest rates, and more. OFA makes purchasing a home more affordable. Visit myohiohome.org. Home ownership. Make it part of your future.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
What a night to be alive. This week's Buckeye Roundtable show is presented by Burger King. I'm Timmy Hall. Gonna check out the Block O, see what's going on with some of our other teams. There's something really cool that I'm about to tell you about that all you football fans are going to want to check out if you want a little behind-the-scenes look. Everybody loves a behind-the-scenes look, right? Buckeye Roundtable is brought to you in part by Encova Insurance for auto and home, encircling you with solutions you can trust. Encova, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Time now for Buckeye Roundtables Around the Block O.
All right, maybe it'll seem like cheating. I want to highlight some of the other teams like I always do. But this is a Buckeye football story. But it's not really just a Buckeye football story. It's something you can do. So listen up. There are still openings to get a behind-the-scenes tour of Ohio Stadium. And it ends in the Buckeyes locker room where fans, you can take selfies and as many pictures as your camera roll will allow of the College Football Playoff National Championship Trophy, along with the Rose Bowl and Cotton Bowl trophies. How cool is that? It's a little more details on what's going on there. It's the Ohio Stadium Trophy Tour. It's going to take place for 3 days this weekend, February 14th, 15th, and 16th. You get to visit the press box. You get to pretend to be Paul Keels, right, or Jim Lachey, looking down at the beautiful field down there. You get to see the president's suite. You get to pretend to be Ted Carter. How cool is that? You get to see the field, the home locker room. All guests are going to receive a commemorative VIP tour credential, and the first 1,000 guests that take the tour will get an exclusive 2025 CFP National Championship Tour coin, little collector's coin. I wonder if that tour coin idea came from President Ted Carter himself, because I know coins and commemorative coins, that's a big thing in the military. And they might commemorate like a certain kind of plane that you worked on if you're in the Air Force, a ship if you're in the Navy, a battle that you may have fought in. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe that could just be because that's what you flip at the center field and at the middle of the field in the Block O when you're starting up a football game. But check out OhioStateBuckeyes.com. It's one of the top links on there. Some of the events that are coming up here quickly before we get to that next men's basketball game on Wednesday. How about the men's golf team? Lucky guys, right? It is February 10th. They get to be in Puerto Rico for the Puerto Rico Classic. It's just day one. They got to get things moving, though. They're near the bottom of the leaderboard as a team, +6 overall. So they got to do some moving and shaking. Men's volleyball team is on the road at Purdue Fort Wayne. They took the first set. They are in a little bit of a battle in the second set right now, but that'd be nice to see the guys bring home a win. And also looking at men's lacrosse. They've got a nice, chilly home game. Are they going to try to get that in tomorrow at 3 o'clock? I am not so sure, weather permitting, but as always, just check OhioStateBuckeyes.com for your latest updates, news, and notes on all of your favorite teams, and also little tidbits on where you can watch your teams as well. Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, has been brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. The executive producer of Ohio State Radio Sports is Skip Mossick. For our producer tonight, Bodie Wells, I'm Timmy Hall. Thanks for listening. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, team physicians for OSU Athletics.
Hey, it's Anthony. I got to tell you, when you don't have the support you need, it affects everything. Feet, knees, hips, back, even your mood. I finally went to the Good Feet store, and once I was personally fitted for my arch supports, I felt a ton better. I will never wear another pair of shoes again without sliding in my personally fit Good Feet arch supports. That's because they help me eliminate my foot pain. It's such a good feeling knowing that I can be on my feet and not worrying about I'm going to wake up with low back pain or feel a weakness somewhere. I trust the Good Feet store because for more than 30 years, they've helped thousands of people just like me get back to feeling comfort on a daily basis. They take pleasure in that. And it's their personal 3-step system designed to support, balance, and strengthen your feet that guides them into their ideal position. I'm the proof. I wear them every day, even when I'm biking at the gym. So go in, take the free test walk at the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or goodfeet.com.
That's our us. When dreams sunk in, that's our us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's our us. When dreams sunk in, that's our us.
Congrats, Buckeyes. Cheers for the 2024 national champions. We know there's nothing like celebrating in Columbus. So wherever you choose to celebrate, choose chill. Coors Light, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. 21 means 21. Celebrate responsibly.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
You'll find low prices on thousands of items. The yellow and red tags mean you'll save big on sparkling ice water, Kroger brand chips, and so much more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. It's time for the Love Your Windows sales event. If you buy 2 windows, you get 2 free, and there's no limit. So if you need 20 windows, you only pay for 10. It's the perfect way to save big while upgrading your home. And that's not all. Universal Windows Direct is offering no interest financing for 3 years. That's 36 months of easy payments with 0% interest. And if you already have a price from another company, Universal Windows Direct will beat it. So you know you're getting the best deal around. Call them today, 614-502-5220. Universal Windows Direct.